Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to be doing a sit-down video answering questions about our house. If you didn't know, you don't follow us on Instagram, we did build a house and we are here on the floor of our new house. So we've had a few people ask us some questions, so I decided to just put it on my Instagram and people asked away there. So if we're awkward, it's because we haven't filmed a video in a very long time. Yeah, it's been a long time. So we are gonna try and upload more videos this year. But anyway, let's get started with the questions.
Question number 1.
Did you build a house or a townhome?
We built a house. We decided to go with a house, and I think it depends. When we're talking about, building a house to our parents, they always suggest like, hey, since it's your first experience, start with a condo or maybe it starts with a townhome. In our case, we feel comfortable paying a house and we decide to go with a house, so why not? So we have really good jobs and it's not a problem for us to pay a house, so we decided to build a house.
How much of a down payment did you guys have to make?
Me?
Yeah.
So it depends, and I'm gonna explain the why, and it is because when you buy a house, you have a limit, and it depends on your mortgage. So if you're buying a house that costs you more than $350,000, you're required to pay 5% down. If you get a mortgage for less than $350,000, I don't know what the rule is, but at least for $350,000 minimum, no matter what, it is 5%. Now, on top of that, we pay at closing $2,300.
That was a different question.
$23,000. That's the down payment.
Yeah.
So yeah, are we talking about
what did we
pay? Oh, sorry. So yeah, we paid $23,000 at closing, and that included some incentive and the closing costs on top. Now, we gave the earnest money. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's another
There's
question.
another question in there, but we did have to give another like $3,000 at the beginning. So technically we gave like $27,000 down payment.
It was more like 27.
Yeah. So it just depends on how much your house costs.
Yeah.
Congrats. Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Did you have to pay out of pocket to start the process, or was it all from a lender? And that is actually what we were just talking about
the earnest money.
The earnest money at the very beginning when we decided like, yes, we do want to build with you guys, we did have to put a specific amount down. It was $3,400. We had to give that before we signed anything, and they agreed to like build our home. It depends on what builder you go with. We did go with another builder at first just because we liked the land and the area, and we wanted to like make sure we didn't lose that spot. We ended up leaving it, but on that one we had to give like $500.
$500, and the one before they gave us a week to think about it, and if we decide to back out, they will return the $500, and they did. It took us maybe like a week or two to receive the $500 back. But with this one, it was more, and if you back out, you lose it.
Yeah.
It's like if you decide to go to, you give us the check and then you back out tomorrow, you lose it.
Okay, this next one has a lot of questions. So number 1, steps. So steps to building a home.
Let's call it number 1, 2, 3, 4.
So first step is just finding the area where you want to be. Like getting some options. If there's just one area, it might be a little bit harder, but just kind of like around where you want to be. After that, you have to find a builder. We Googled, the second one. We Googled a bunch of builders. We drove around a lot for many Saturdays.
We visited so many places.
So after you decide the area, the builder, then you talk to them a lot just to make sure that you like the homes, like the models of the homes and stuff like that. Do a lot of like walkthroughs of monohomes, and then after that, when you finally decide like, yes, this is the home that I want, this is the land that I want, because that was a big one. I was like,
The land.
I love the house, but I want to make sure that I can have at least a little bit of a backyard. At least here in Utah, it's getting harder and harder to find
they're making the
like a
backyards
new
smaller.
home, with like somewhat of a backyard. But that was like a big thing for us, so we wanted to make sure they had like the land that we wanted. And after that, we decided like, yes, let's do it. We had to go get the money, and then come back and do that. And then we were here for hours that Saturday.
I think we spent all day because we went
all day.
inside of the motorhome, up and down, in and out.
Yeah.
And the thing too is that the builder only at the moment they build 1 or 2 motorhomes, but sometimes they have 7 other houses they could build for you. So, but we were in that particular one because that's the style that we wanted. We were there for hours.
Yeah.
We sat there, we talked, we make it feel like we were home.
Yeah, we were just kind of sitting there like, okay, let's sit here. So this is where our TV would be. How do you feel? Oh, like in the future, we're going to be sitting here with our kids. How does that feel? If we have a party and people are here, like we were just there for so long, just looking at every little thing. Like, does this house feel right for us? Like,
we left, we came back after lunch.
It was like a long thing. But anyway, so then
after that, after that, you talk about finding the lender. So the builder, they have what they call the preferred lender. And if you go with the preferred lender because, they're like friends, you get some incentive. That's what they say. Not always you get the best incentive or not always you get the best price after, when you're closing. So just make sure if you don't like the preferred lender, you feel free to go with any other lender. And that's what we did. So at the end of the day, we decided to go with a different lender, and the other lender, it was great. We loved them, and they gave us a good deal, and So
and like you can pick their lender at first.
Yep.
You can change it at any time. Like we changed ours like very last minute. And that's totally fine. Just make sure that you remember what the incentives were, because if you don't go with their preferred lender, then you won't get the incentives and you'll probably have to pay a little bit more.
So after you find the lender is when everything starts. So you have to...
all the fun.
Yeah. So the lender will send the builder a letter saying like, hey, we approve Gabriel and Susana to build a house, for $500,000. And then the builder say, okay, cool, let's start building a house. And then you start scheduling a lot of meetings.
Appointments.
You have a lot of appointments with the builder, with the superintendent, and with the design center. There's so many steps that you have to,
so probably the next step after that, like, because when we were signing stuff, then we had to pick a lot of things like the model of our home, the colors from outside, the stone that we wanted outside, like all these different things.
You want a fireplace, if you want a patio.
If we want to switch our bathroom, like do we want a tub, do we want this, do we want the loft, or do we want a room, like just all these little things. Do we want a railing, do we want a wall, like just all those things.
And a bunch of things happen on the first day.
Yeah, that was the first day. And then after that is the appointment you have with the design center. And the design center is like a showroom, and pretty much they just have like all the floors, all the carpets, all the faucets, all like just everything you can think of. They have it there. And so we went on our first appointment. That one took like 2 hours.
It was
3 hours.
2 or 3 hours.
2 or 3 hours. We just had to pick like the paint. We had to pick our floor. We had to pick our carpet. We had to pick our chandelier. Like just all these different little things that we wanted. Like, and also like windows. Like if we wanted to add window, like just so many little things.
Even the windows. They call everything upgrade. So an upgrade will be, you have level 1s, 2, and 3, and some builders have 4. So let's say, for example, the carpet, like they have different options for the carpet, not only the color, but the texture, like how high, how does it feel,
the quality,
everything.
Yeah.
So you can go with the cheap one. Of course, it's gonna be really cheap, or you can go with a better one, and that will cost money. Yeah. So that they call them upgrade. Even windows were upgrades. Yeah. Even stuff that you put on the windows are upgrades.
And that and that appointment you also do like electrical stuff, because the house is just very plain. Like your base price is just a base, like basic house. And so we had to be like, okay, yes, we want 4 lights, like can lights in our bedroom. We want a bunch of lights like downstairs. We want them in our loft, like this and that.
Even the switches, you have to pick
like the light switches, just like those little things, like you had to pick there. And then so we did like picked everything we wanted, obviously out of budget. It was a lot. And then from there we started like we started looking like, do we need this? Like, no, we don't really need that. We just wanted it. And like we just started taking out things that like maybe we can do later, like all of our faucets and stuff like that, except for the one in the kitchen. We just picked like the most basic one that like almost costs like nothing, or maybe costs nothing.
It costs nothing.
That one that just comes with the house, because we were like, later on we can just switch it on our own if like we don't like it. But there are other things that you cannot switch later, or would cost a lot of money to change later.
Like,
so
there's no way you can switch, like for example, a fireplace.
Yeah.
You have to decide that from day one. If you don't put a
decide
to go with that fireplace, there's no way someone is gonna take down the wall and then build a fireplace. A good example of that is that, for example, the blinds. If we decided to go with the blinds with a builder, it would cost us $3,000 for the whole house. Instead, we decided not to put any blinds and then go to Home Depot and get them from Home Depot. So they send a guy, they make sure everything, they cut the blinds, they install them today actually. They cost us $800, a little over $800. So you see the difference, $3,000 with the builder, $800 with Home Depot. So we save a ton of money there.
Yeah. And so on that first one, we picked some stuff, then we went home, we thought about it.
Yeah.
I can't remember like the distance between the two appointments, but then we had a second appointment at the design center. So they give us like a month to think about it. We went back and then we told her, okay, this is the papers, we want to take this out, we want to take this out, we want to take this out, and we actually want to add this. We changed a bunch of stuff.
Oh my gosh.
So we were there for a while too, because we have to make sure that everything on the paper is correct, like write everything down. Like I made a list of all the things that I wanted to touch point on and stuff like that. So yeah, after that, it's just kind of like building. Yeah, you just wait. You wait for months. Like they called him every like Thursday or Friday just to give you like little updates and stuff. I don't think all builders do that, but ours did, which was really nice. But we would come like every Saturday or every other Saturday, just kind of like whenever we had time or whenever we felt like driving by, just to make sure that everything looked good. We actually caught a few things that they were messing up. Not really their fault, kind of, but it's just like they're building so many homes, so many communities, and it gets a little bit confusing for them. And so it was just things that we caught on time, and we were able to tell them like, hey, no, we asked for this and you guys are putting this in, and then they'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry, we will fix it. So yes, they're supposed to be doing their job correctly, but it's also your job to be checking up on the house and making sure that everything is looking really, really good.
And a good suggestion, be really nice to them.
Yeah, be really nice.
Because they're working really hard.
Just
it's going
like,
to be really
be
stressful.
Kind. Just realize that they have a lot going on. They have a lot of like blueprints they have to look at and all these things, and it can get a little confusing. But that's why I would say like constantly check up on the house. But it was a few months of that, and then they finally emailed us with some appointments. They gave us a date. They switched up our date a few times for like our closing, which was fine. We had like one appointment that was our blue tape walkthrough. So that is when we walk through the house. It's not quite done, but we still like put a blue tape in like every spot that we want them to fix, whether it's paint, whether it's a hole, or just like any little thing that they missed. They have a lot of houses to look at again. So we did that, and then after, it was like a week and a half or 2 weeks after that, we had our last walkthrough. And that one was pretty fast. It was like half an hour walkthrough just to make sure
and everything. You just go over what you blue tape.
Just to make sure they fixed everything that you wanted them to fix, and that all the things that weren't done were done. And one thing, we were freaking out because a lot of things, well, not a lot of things, a few things in the house were not quite done, and we didn't want to sign the papers until every little thing was done, because you want to make sure it's right.
They were putting the appliances up, and I think the dishwasher, they moved it and they scratched the floor. Yeah,
they made like a big scratch on our floor.
And it's like, what? I was like, I don't know how they're gonna fix this. They will have to take it out and put new one. I don't know. And that was the day of the closing. Yeah. And we're like,
they ended up fixing it and stuff like that, but it was fine. But just know, we talked to our parents, we talked to the lender and stuff like that, and they did say, like, yes, this does happen a lot where you're gonna close and your house is still not gonna have everything like 100%, probably like 98-99% done. Yeah. But there are gonna be some things that aren't done, but the builder will have a list of things and he'll check them off as they're done. But they just want to make sure you're like in your home already and you're not waiting for so long. So they will fix things, but.
And for us, they're gonna come back a month after closing, and 6 months and a year.
Yeah, and then after that we had our closing appointment. And
Sighting.
Yeah, so that was actually the same day. So it was like our last walkthrough, our closing appointment, and then we had our appointment I guess our closing appointment was with the lender.
Yeah, so we went to the bank, we wired the money with the wiring instructions that builder gave us, and then we went to the title company, and then you signed your life. We signed
so many papers.
Yeah, and the title company, they were really nice.
Yeah,
they
super
explained
nice.
me everything, super nice.
So,
Next question.
Okay, next question. How much do you save before starting the process?
Oh my god.
Different for everybody, for sure. But for us,
just start saving. I'll say start saving right now. If you know you're gonna build a house in the next year or in the next few years, or if you're gonna buy a house, not building it, buy a house, just start saving money, because there's so many things that you have to pay. Not only the down payment, I'll say just save money for the rent. Believe it or not, if you're moving.
Well, it's not a rent anymore.
Well, yeah, a mortgage. But if you're transitioning from an apartment, from a place that, let's say for example, you pay $1,000, you pay $700. It is so different when you come and buy a house, because there's so many other expenses like property taxes, HOA, the utilities are higher. So you are used to pay $700 to $1,000 for your apartment, and then you're jumping to a $2,000, $3,000 monthly for a house. So save money for the down payment, save money for any upgrade, save money if you're buying new furniture, and also save. Just put an emergency
fund.
Yeah, fund for paying your mortgage, pay your house.
So it's different for everybody. Like we said at the beginning, we gave a down payment of like $27,000, and on top of that, in the last 3 weeks, we've spent like $10,000 just on like dumb things like blinds. We actually repainted our whole house, so that was probably like why.
And we still have a lot, because they're gonna put the grass on the front, but we have to do the grass on the back, and the HOA push you to do it.
Yeah, you have to.
Eventually, we will have to talk to our neighbors to put the fence, so that costs a lot of money too.
Grass, sprinklers.
Yeah.
Just like dumb little things, plus like all your furniture.
Everything start adding up.
So far, it's been over $30,000.
Yeah.
So save up a lot. Save up like as much as possible.
Yeah.
Next question: does work history matter? Yes.
Yep.
That is like the biggest thing.
Matters a lot.
Yeah, he didn't really have a problem with it. He's an accountant. He has a career. He's been working for like 5 years in the same career. Has switched jobs, but nothing crazy.
Nothing different than what I work on.
Yeah, they want you to be at your job for at least a year.
If you have a background,
you have like different backgrounds and different jobs. For me, it was a little bit of a problem, so we decided to build in May. I had just switched to a different job in April. And before that, I was a student. I was not a student. I was a teacher for special needs adults.
Well, you were a student too, but
I could easily be a student. I'm just kidding. But I was a teacher for special needs adults, and then I switched to a different job, more of an office job in a conference center. And so the guy called, and he was like, hey, you switched careers, and you just barely did like a month ago. How can I be sure that you're going to have a stable job, that you're not going to hate it and then switch back to a different job?
That's crazy.
So we had to prove to him that, yes, this was like, he asked like, why, what happened, like this and that,
You
like so many questions, write letters explaining like why. Also, they check, they check your bank account, just to make sure you have, so at the beginning they were like, we don't see that you have like enough money for a full down payment saved. Like,
how are you gonna
make
that till the end?
Yeah, we had to write like a letter explaining like our plan, our savings plan, and how we were gonna get to the 27,000 by the time we close.
And it is kind of hard. Sometimes you will have to do huge moves. For example, you might have to move to your parents, and that could sound like kind of stupid, or I don't want to move to my parents. Maybe you'll have to do it, maybe because of the transition of moving from an apartment to a house. You have a contract with your apartment complex, and then the house is not going to be done on time, and maybe you'll have to extend your contract. Or another thing might be like, well, you want to move to save money, and oh my gosh, that helped a ton.
We moved in with his parents for like 2 or 3 months. It was so helpful. But back to the actual question.
What was the question again?
The question was the work history.
Yeah, the work history
yes,
matters.
it does matter. And if you're jumping jobs, it doesn't matter if you have like all the money in the world. They're not gonna loan you any money. They want to make sure you're stable at your job. So if you're constantly switching jobs, stop doing that and find a stable job and stay there
for a year at least.
For a year, yeah. And that's it does matter a lot. The last question: does each purchase when building a house come out of pocket immediately? For example, if you're picking out a sink, do you pay upfront or is that included in the overall price?
So I'll say no, and also I want to say yes. And this is what happened. When you're building a house, the lender, they approve you for this much. But then the builder, they also have limits. For example, this is how much your house costs. We have the design center. You're good to spend in the design center, let's say, for example, a percentage of what your house costs. Let's say that percentage is $30,000. That's an example. They give you $30,000 budget to spend. If you select a lot of things and you reach $30,000 and then you still have the flooring and you want to do the flooring and that costs $7,000 for do the flooring and you will go over $7,000, the builder is gonna ask you to do a percentage down to get the flooring. For example, a 10%. So if you go over the 30, you have to put 10% on everything that you go over at the moment.
Technically, it's included in the overall price unless you go over their budget, then you give like a 10%, but you don't have to give like the full amount. So yeah, as long as you stay within that, it is included in the overall price. So that's good.
Yeah.
Are you having a housewarming party? We had this question, I had it twice on here, but just with people we know, we've had it a lot. We are now. We had no idea what it was. We never planned on it because we had no idea what it was, but now we decided we are going to have one. Probably at the end of like February when we have like more stuff in here because it's kind of empty.
Just give us ideas like in the comments because we don't know. At first we were like, how do you do that? Like you invite everybody at the same time and do like a barbecue and play music. Some other people, they say, no, you just, I don't know, you just open the house.
You just like have people walk in, have some snacks. Yeah.
And I was like, I prefer to do like a big party.
Yeah, for me it's like housewarming party, like music, like food, games, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we already had like, we moved in on a Saturday and then when was New Year's? On Monday?
Yeah, it was a Monday.
We already had like a big party. But yeah.
Does that count as a housewarming party?
I don't know. I guess for the family. I don't know. But we will end up having a housewarming party now since everybody wants us to do one for some reason. So,
yeah.
So, let us know in the comments what you do at a housewarming party. Like a fun one, not just a boring one.
Yeah.
House tour, please. And that is like a video for like YouTube. Yes. So we will do one. I don't know when.
Later.
We'll wait.
I want to have more. There's people that like to see like the empty house. It's not that our house is empty, but imagine moving from an apartment to a house with multiple bedrooms.
Yeah, I was gonna do an empty house tour, but it's kind of too late to do that now because we have like a few things, but we don't have everything. So now I feel like I should just wait until we have everything or almost everything.
Yeah.
So we'll wait on that one, but we'll do it. Do you know if it's cheaper to build a home or buy one that is already built?
I think it is. Wait, cheaper? Is she asking cheaper?
It's more expensive to build a home.
It is more expensive to build a home. And the reason is that you can go over your budget like that because you want to build your dream home. Mm-hmm. And when you go to the design center, I like that floor. Oh, I like this or I like that. It goes out of budget like that. And when you're buying a house from someone else, you can work with the person to get it for cheaper, get it for more. Hey, you can agree to get a fridge for free. When you're building house, you don't have that option. It's like whatever it costs set. And then whatever you want to pick, it
adds up.
Yeah.
But it depends. I mean, it depends on the area. I don't know how much like pricing is for homes in other places, but for us, like in the areas we were looking at, it was kind of getting crazy expensive, like 500, 600, 700 for like an old home, and we were like, I'm not gonna do that because then you have to pay all the expenses that come later because
and that's more like downtown.
Yeah, and that's more like downtown. So then we went like a little further, way further out.
Yeah, it is like
but it's totally worth it. But yeah, I mean, for us, it was kind of like, well, we would love to have like our dream home and a new home, and we're the first ones to live there and stuff. There's nothing wrong with buying a house that's already been built.
No.
But yeah, I think it's probably a little bit more expensive
To build it.
As somebody really nice says that we should keep doing YouTube and doing daily vlogs, and we inspire her, and that's really nice. Thank you.
Thanks.
How much did it cost?
So,
Very blunt.
Shall I just
Yeah.
say it? So we paid for this one 427,000. That's the price. We ended up closing at 393. So, you know, that's how much we gave down payment plus earnest money and everything. So the house base price, it was like 350. I think that lot premium, because you have to pay for the lot depending where you build the house. If you want a view, if you want to be more in the middle, if you don't want to have neighbors, that will cost you extra money. And then everything else was upgrades. So imagine how much on upgrades.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not that we went like crazy on our upgrades, but yeah, just remember, like, you do have to pay for your lot separate from the house.
Yep.
And so if you want a nice, like, we don't have anything behind us, we just have a view
have a
to
really
like
nice view.
the city.
I
Like,
like it.
it's the best.
Even from our bedroom. When I wake
from
up
our
every
bedroom,
morning,
we
I
can
sit on the
see
bed and
everything.
you can see everything.
Yeah, so our lot costs a
super
little bit
pretty.
more
Yeah.
for that reason. But yeah, that's just like the base price for the house, the lot, the upgrades, just like those little things. But yeah, that's how much it costs. How long was the process? We decided May. They started building, I think, in June.
They started building in June. At first they told us it was going to be done in February, but they finished the house in December.
How much did you originally get approved for on your loan?
I don't think, I really don't remember, because they didn't tell us.
Oh yeah, they didn't tell us.
So when you're...
It's different when you're on the hunt for a house that's already built. Then they tell you, okay, this is how much you're approved for, and now you start looking for that. We did it the other way around.
I know now. What happened is that when you are not sure, but you want to get pre-approved, you know, to start looking in the market for a house, they tell you how much. Here we came with a price already.
Yeah, we did it the other way around. We didn't get pre-approved like before looking for a house.
Here they say, oh, this is how much the lot premium is, this is how much the house is, and they're expecting to spend, I don't know, 60 grand on upgrades, and that's with your pre-approval. So the lender talks with the builder, and maybe that's why they didn't tell us for how much. They just pre-approved us, and then they send the builder the letter like, hey, you know, ready to go, they're pre-approved, good.
Yeah. So yeah, is there anything else you want to add?
Just start saving money now. If you know you're gonna build a house or you're gonna buy a house in the next year or so, just start saving money, because you're gonna spend so much money, and it is awesome. It feels great. It feels weird at first, but it feels amazing to have your own place.
It's really exciting.
It's really exciting. You're gonna love it. So
yeah, just have good communication with your lender. Have good communication with your builder, and shop around a lot. There's a lot to look at. There's a lot of different things. So shop around, not just for like the house that you want, but for the lender.
Oh, I do have something to say. And when you're building a house, maybe no one asked this question, but you don't need a realtor.
Oh yeah.
Or I mean,
they might tell you. They might tell you do, but we didn't have one.
But we didn't have one because you're really, at this point, you're designing your own home. It's not that you're buying from someone and you're trying to deal with the person. Sometimes I don't know, you might need it. You can go with a realtor, but at this point, we
know a lot of people who built homes and they didn't get one. The ones that have, I've heard that they're just kind of like, it's kind of like a waste. Like, you don't need one. And the person we had that helped us from the beginning, from like the builder and stuff, she was awesome.
She was so nice.
She was the best.
She was super nice.
She's super helpful, still is. Like, if we have any questions, like, I'm glad we just kept it that way. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's it. So thank you to everybody who asked us questions. If you have any more questions, if anything popped up, let us know in the comments down below, or you can send us a direct message or anything like on Instagram, and we will be happy to answer there. And yeah, thank you for watching. Let us know what other videos you guys would like to see. We kind of want to
maybe a tour.
vlog a little bit more.
Maybe we do a tour.
Maybe, yeah, we'll do the tour, but just any other type of videos you guys would like to see. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you guys in our next video.
Bye.
Bye.